We are treated to two UFNs this week, which means two prediction videos and another quick picks from me. The main event is a rematch, in fact. This is Vitor Belfort versus Dan Henderson. Now, this fight took place, in fact, although quite a long time ago. If we have a look back in his record, where is it? Oh, there we are. October the 21st, 2006. They fought at Pride 32. Not being a big Pride fan, never knew much about it, to be honest. That was sort of only a couple of months after I knew MMA existed, so I don't pretend to be a big person of the past. And both of these guys will have grown since then. However, it's interesting that Dan Henderson won that one, because I am one of maybe a few people, I don't know, who still think that had Dan Henderson been given a rematch against Anderson Silva, he might have won that on the ground. I think it was only a mistake that sort of gave Silva the upper hand in that match. I don't know how he did it in Pride. I do know it was a decision, so I'm going to guess that he didn't get the submission, but he spent forever taking him down, and that was not Vitor Belfort's area of strength, who is a striker. So I'm going to say that I think we're probably going to have a rerun. So I'm going to go for a decision by Dan Henderson. His record is 29-10. Vitor Belfort 23-10. Cesar Ferreira has a record of 6-2 and is surprisingly well-rounded. In fact, surprisingly well-rounded. Never lost by submission, and he's fighting Daniel Sarafian, who has a record of 8-3. His area of expertise, you might like to know, is submission. In fact, all bar one of his victories have come in that way, most of them in the first round. I think that he will probably win here, although that would make Caesar's first loss by that method. You'll have to excuse me, it's getting late. It's in fact 1:46 in the morning, so there we are. I'm going to go for a Daniel win by submission. I'll go for a bar submission. No, I won't. I'll go, since he likes choke submissions, I shall go for choke submission in the first. A stand-up war is next on the cards. We've got Igor Pokrajc 25-10. Versus Rafael Cavalcanti 11-4. Neither of them have records to be proud of in the last couple of fights. Igor win, loss, no contest, loss, and Rafael is not much better. I think he's coming off 2 losses in a row, but maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, a no contest and a loss. So neither of them have particularly good records recently. This is a bit of a guess, but I actually am going to go for Rafael Cavalcanti here. I shall go for a TKO in the second round. I'm going to say that I think that Paulo Thiago will lose this match, but I am not going to give Brandon Thatch the benefit of the doubt. I think that he will win by decision. His record is 10-1. He is a stand-up fighter who has never lost by submission, and he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fight win streak. If we look at Paulo Thiago, we get quite a different picture. His record is 15-5, and he is a submission specialist who hasn't lost by submission either. Unfortunately, his record recently not so good. Win, loss, loss, win, loss win. You could argue that all bar one of those losses have been by decision. You could also argue that at least 3 out of the 4 are high calibers, but I'm still not going to buy it. I'm going to go for Brandon Thatch by decision. Ryan LaFleur has a perfect record of 8 after already fighting in the UFC once. Santiago Ponzinibbio, that's not bad actually, Ponzinibbio, yes, that's right, has a record of 18-1. Both of them are well-rounded in the ways they win, and the only loss that what's his name, Santiago has is by TKO, but it's so long ago, who knows what it means or anything like that. So I'm going to go for Ryan LaFleur, and I'll go for TKO in the third. Jeremy Stephens, with a record of 21-9, is fighting Ronnie Mariano Bezzara, otherwise known as Jason, who's got a record of 13-3. Now, Ronnie's area of expertise is submissions. I don't think that he will be able to submit Jeremy Stephens. However, I do think that he could possibly get a decision victory here. Although he's not especially known for that, you do find that Jeremy Stephens tends to run out of time sometimes, and that's his biggest area of loss. So I'm going to go for a Jason decision victory. Typical problem with the UFC here, again, is that they, as I was saying in a previous video, predictions, they have to sort out what they're doing in terms of naming these cards to get sort of some sort of succinct idea. And they might do well to follow the same advice with their Brazilian fighters, because it's no good that they do some they call by the nickname followed by the surname, some it's the first name followed by the nickname, and Sherdog doesn't understand that, and I don't understand that. They really ought to call them their full name, or just the nickname. It's one or the other, really. And I have come across that. The reason that I'm saying that is because I've come across it with Godofredo Pepe. No, his name is Godofredo Castro. Pepe is his nickname. Anyway, he is fighting Sam Sicilia. 9-2 for Godofredo, and 11-3 for Sam Sicilia. And you'll have to excuse me, because in an effort to try and stay awake, I'm also eating some fish fingers. Quick to cook, easy to digest if we're going to bed soon. I didn't mean to worry about, did you? Right. Yes, Sam Sicilia is coming off 2 losses in a row. I might go for Godofredo Castro by decision. It'll be a miracle if I get any of these predictions right, the way I've done this. It is anybody's guess who is going to win this one. Omari Akhmedov, with a perfect record of 11, and he wins by, well, he's very well rounded, is fighting Thiago de Oliveira Perpetuo, who has a record of 9-1. And is mainly a TKO artist. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Do you know, I might go for him, only because he's got one obvious area of expertise, and I might go for a TKO in the second. This is the perfect bounce-back fight for Thiago Tavares. 17-5, who has just lost to Khabib. He is a submission fighter, and he's fighting Justin Salas with a record of 11-4. And although Justin's submission losses are quite some time ago, that is what Thiago Tavares, I think, has to do in order to win this one. I think he'll do it, so I'll go for a bar submission in the second for him. The next fight is Adriano Martins, 24-6, versus Darren Cruikshank, record 13-3. Despite the fact that Adriano is on a 1-2-3-4-5 fight win streak, he's got a slightly better record, and his last win was over George Gurgel this year in Strikeforce. I'm going to go and say I think that Darren Cruikshank will win. And the final prediction, Josie Maria Tome, record 33-4, is fighting Dustin Ortiz, record 11-2. Josie has already had a fight in the UFC, and despite that long record and the fact that he's a stand-up striker but still has 13 submission victories to his name, he lost by TKO. Dustin Ortiz, on the other hand, is a newcomer, at least to the UFC. You might like to know that he does have a loss to Ian McCall in his background. He is on a 1-2-3 fight win streak, although those happen to all be decisions. If you look at his record, he has never been finished, so he only loses by decision. I think he might win here, but I'm going to go for, he's got no particular area of expertise, it's very well rounded there. I'm going to go for a decision victory for him there.